In this tutorial today, we're going to be looking at adding something collectible to our game. So in many games, it's either coins or gems or jewels or something like that, maybe keys that you need to go around your world and find. So we're going to start off from where we left off, which was we've got our character in the scene, our water and our terrain, and we can interact with our water because we drown. So the first thing we're going to do today is where I don't have a coin or a gem or anything set up at the moment, so I'm just going to use a cube. So we're going to use a cube as our collectible item, and our cube is going to give us some score, and it's going to be destructible, so once we picked it up it disappears. So that's where we're going to start today. We're going to get a cube, we're going to make it so that when we can collect it, so we can run into it and destroy it, and that it adds to our score. This is going to be one in a couple of videos around collectibles, and the first part is the practical component, the second part is the aesthetics of that object, so getting it to maybe spin or bounce up and down or grow, enlarge, just something to make it sort of stand out when the character is moving around so that they can see it. Alright, so in our Unity project we've got our character, and we're going to start off by going up to game object up the top here, creating a 3D object, and we're going to create a cube. And yeah, it's not a gem, which would look nice, it's just a cube. And we're going to place our cube just next to our player here so that it's easy to find. So at the moment it's called cube. I'm going to call it, it's going to be a coin, because coin, but it's a cube. So we can rename it up here on the right hand side in the inspector, and I'm going to call it coin. Now we already have on it our mesh, our mesh renderer with our default texture, so it's just going to be white, and then we've got a box collider here. The box collider is important because that we can run into a box collider. So if we just play the game for a second, just load it up. We've got our cube here, and at the moment we run into our cube and we can't move past our cube. It doesn't get rid of our cube, nothing happens, it's just a cube. Alright, so go back out of that, and now we're going to give this cube, going to have to do something about this cube. So the cube part at the moment we're not going to do a huge amount to. All we're going to do is give it a tag, and we're going to go up to our tag, which is underneath our name in the inspector. And at the moment I don't have a good tag for this. There's nothing there, so I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to click add a tag, and see my list of tags is empty. So this is the default ones, but otherwise I don't have a good one. So what are we going to call it? Coin? We can call it coin or collectible or something like that, but I'm going to call it coin. Alright, so we've got a tag now, it's called coin, and that's in our list of tags. So if we click back on our coin in our hierarchy here in the middle, we can go back to our tags on the right hand side in our inspector, and we've got coin coming up now. So we're going to use coin, and spelt it with a capital C, so that's just important. Alright, so that's all we're going to do with the cube. We've got the cube in there, we've got a collider on it, and we've tagged it with coin. So we're going to go back into our player control script. So make sure you've got that open in Visual Studio, Mono Develop, whatever you're using, and we're going to go back into here. So I've remembered to make the size nice and big so you can see it, and in here we're going to add another variable because our player needs a score, so we're going to add in another variable. So underneath our lives that we did last time, we're going to go, we're going to serialize this one again, square brackets, and we're going to serialize our field again just so we can see it. We're still going to make it private because we don't want anything to accidentally happen. And my keyboard just got stuck, the spacebar just got stuck. Cool. And alright, that's what happens when the spacebar gets stuck. It's going to be an integer. My keyboard is still getting stuck. Give me a second while I just fix my keyboard. And we're back. So I just fixed my keyboard. I did put it on mute, pause, so you guys didn't have to go through that whole deal of me fixing my keyboard. So we're going to add in an integer. So we're going to go m_lives. No, we're going to go score. and we're going to make it equal to 0 because we don't have any score when we begin, and because, well, we don't want any score when we start off with. Alright, so we've got that variable in there now, and we're going to use this variable. So we need to use this variable when we go to do things. So just remember, save your work as you go. Also, if you want to, you can go back to Unity and just check it. Load screen down the bottom here, the spinning wheel. Wait for that to disappear and check that, yep, you've got no errors coming up, just warning messages, which is fine. It's just saying, this last one saying that you've got a private sign field that's never used, and yeah, we've got a variable there that's never used, but we're going to use it in a second, so that's okay. So sometimes it could just bounce in between Unity and your code just to check for any compile errors or issues. Visual Studio is pretty good at picking up errors and stuff like that, but if you misspell something, then it'll throw that error. Alright, so we're going to go down the bottom now to our on controller collider hit, still a mouthful, and we've got our if statement for respawn, and we're not going to touch that one, that one's for our water, but now we're going to create another one. We're going to create an if statement with our hit game object, and what we're going to do with that is get the tag again, but this time what are we going to set the tag to? We're going to set the tag to coin, because that's the name of our tag that we gave our cube, and we're going to get something to happen in here. So what do you think we need to have happen? When we collide with it, we need to increment our score. So let's get our score variable, m underscore score. There it is, and just like we did last time when we wanted to reduce our lives by 1, we use minus minus. So if we want to increase our score by 1, we're going to go plus plus, and that's it. So that's going to increase our score when we run into the object. Alright, hit save on that, Control S, and go back to our Unity project. So let's run it. Oh, we're still waiting for the wheel to go. Yep, great. So we're going to collide with this cube for a while. Alright, so nothing's happening. It's not getting destroyed. Well, that's okay. But we're going to go to our player and we're going to just scroll down, and score is now 183. Well, we've been running into it for a little while, haven't we? And as I continue to run into it, you can see my score on the side there is just going up and up and up and up and up. It's because we haven't destroyed the object that we're hitting, so it's constantly colliding every single frame with it, and we're just getting insane amounts of score, which is not that great because we want our player to have to find all the little collectibles rather than just run into one constantly all game and get the highest score. So we're going to go back into our code. So go back to Visual Studio or Mono Develop and go back to our score. So we need to add something after this now. So we need to be able to destroy the game object that is that we're hitting. So this on controller collider hit, it collects the object that we're hitting and it puts it in this variable of hit as what we're running into, and we can use that now and destroy that object from here. We can go destroy, and then we can put an object inside here, and we can go to hit dot game object and put a semicolon at the end. So that's now going to say when we hit the coin, we increment the score by 1 and then destroy the object that we're hitting, and that object that we're hitting is the coin we're collecting, or in our case the cube. So we're going to control save that. We're going to go back to Unity, let that load in, spinning wheel down the bottom right hand side, and we're going to hit play. We didn't get any error messages, otherwise it wouldn't let us play it. So we're going to run up to this, and we touched it and it disappeared off our screen. It disappeared from in front of us, and oh look, our score has gone up by 1. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy paste this and put a couple of them around the place. Now this is just a test to demonstrate that we can get more than one on our score. Now, I'm just going to select our player here, scroll down. So our score's at 0 at the moment. So on the right hand side, if you look on the right hand side here in our script, we've got our score and it's at 0. But if we play our game, we run into 1. We collect 1, our score goes up to 1. Score goes to 2, score goes to 3. And those objects are getting destroyed as we go. And you can see they're no longer in the hierarchy either. They're no longer here because they got destroyed. Alright, so we're just going to destroy those extras. So we've got the basic functionality of the coins in, or our collectible items. So that's all we're going to do for this video. In the next video we're going to look at the aesthetics of that coin or collectible, so getting it maybe to rotate, levitate, float up and down, spin on an axis, or maybe grow and shrink and scale itself. We also might look at how we can generate lots of these objects, so, and without just having to copy paste and hope that all our settings are correct, we're going to use something called a prefab. So we're going to set this object as a prefab in our assets so that we can get to it at any time and we can reference it at any time. Alright, so that's it for this tutorial. In the next one we're going to go into those aesthetics and being able to place many around your entire map without too much fuss. Alright, thanks for watching.